if you're new to my channel, how cards is I will start off reading the initial energy of the first card, and then of course we'll go through all the clarifiers. So right now, what we are looking at is minor arcana for the most part for the month of July. We do actually have, and I should also, just as an adjunct there, just to mention that, again, all of you are on different timelines. You're not all making decisions on a Monday or a Friday. I find there is a bit of a gray area when it comes to timelines with anyway. And again, there's so many other factors. Some of you, move along a certain timeline a little faster. You have more resources available to you so that you can do things. Others, it might be more of a slower thing because you're having to work through more of the mental aspects of the energy. But either way, if it's not your story, it's not your story. Just take it as it resonates. So I'll just jump right in here. So what I'm going to start off with here is we get into the Three of Wands. And again, I'm just doing the general energy first. We are talking about some level of action. It certainly does indicate that there is something that's further up ahead, be a delay on something that you are waiting for here. But either way, it is still an actionable card, and it is something that's going to be taking place with the energy taking place in the month of July. But again, ships coming in and this kind of thing, whatever this element is, it'll be a little bit further out. And again, as Leo, Sagittarius, Aries can be relevant here as well. But just as, again, a sign, it doesn't have to be those specific signs, but it can certainly be indicating that those attributes of those signs may be showing up here. So again, this is a threshold of success. So something is about to come in. And again, this does indicate it's some kind of a milestone, but it's going to put you on some more of a solid ground. Just in reflection here, the underlying card would be a 5. It's the Hierophant. So it does feel like it's from a corporate entity or from a larger source, something that's traditional, something that you would have to could be also related around a water sign here as well, father figure or somebody who represents as a father figure. There's also kind of a legality sort of or contractual that may be around that as well. But again, we're going to go through this a little bit in more detail, but we'll just kind of start it out there. Now we're looking at the Chariot. So as far as the Chariot goes, this is more of an actionable card. Again, it's making a decision, but it's more of an assertive, aggressive, well, I shouldn't say aggressive, but assertive kind of move in a direction. There's a lot of motivation to get something done, a lot of ambition around this. So I feel like could be also Cancer sign coming through in a couple of patches here. It seems to be duplicating. But the Chariot does indicate there's a need for self-discipline in some area of your life that you have to really push for to get something done. And again, especially when it's followed up by the Seven of Wands, that's again just kind of reinforcing the energy of that card. We'll also get into relationships and all of that as well, but I am just kind of going through the general energy initially here. But like I said, this can be a journey of some sort that you're kind of setting yourself up for. But either way, I feel like you're really working on a particular goal. And the fact that it's got action behind it with the Three of Wands, the Seven of Wands, there's just a lot going on there as far as getting it ahead with whatever it is that you're doing. You're actually making some progress is what I would say. The fact that it is, I mean, again, I'll kind of detail it later here, but sorry, I was reading the comment. I see a lot of the stuff on Jesus. I believe in a God. I don't want to get into all my own personal beliefs and all of that, guys. What you believe in for sure. I support it 100%. We all have to get through this life, and it is a hard one. We are in the physical world, and it takes all of our energy, all of our focus, and all of our support of one another to get through. So really appreciate the kind words, though. And I'm sorry, I can't quite see the name because I am in a sunny spot right now. But I totally appreciate you. Spread the good energy always. Anyway, Seven of Wands is, again, where we're kind of speaking to trying to do something in a very independent way. Pushing through, like I said, and I feel like with that Chariot, there's going to be some kind of a payoff or success in this month that is kind of showing you that, that you have the ability you're in an advantageous position either way. And again, this can also represent spiritual maturity, all of that. There is levels of spirituality that are coming in here for you, but either way, I feel like you're choosing your battles wisely, and you're really in some kind of possibly in a learning mode here as well, because that Hierophant can also come off as a learning card or an institutional card, so something around that as well. But either way, I feel like there's just a lot about trying to work steadily toward a dream and make something happen. Now, the legal card does kind of come up here twice. Could be also Libra energy here as well. Knight of Wands, again, lots of action in regards to whatever it is that you're doing here. Justice card is a major arcana. The ones that are the major arcana in your read are the Justice, keeping, following the moderate road here, like almost to the temperance nature, doing things from a place of, fair and just, that kind of thing, making sure that whatever it is that you do, it's from a really good place. Not a selfish oriented card at all. The Chariot, of course, is also in a same sort of energy, real strong conviction to get something done and to do things the right way. If there is legal problems in around a particular situation, it does speak to those, a decision being made here, but the final of it may be just a little further out. But I do feel like something very strongly is correlated around contractual, governmental or legal sort of aspects of you, but it is bringing things back into alignment so that there's more of like a rearrangement of your priorities. A lot of money cards here too, but there is something of, it seems to be the concentration anyway. But I do feel like there's more to follow either way. And again, Justice card is still speaking to being fair, overall in the decision. So so sorry about that, guys. I don't know how much time that delayed, but my phone overheated, so I had to kind of cool things down here. But anyway, I'll just get back to and hopefully that didn't cause too much of a delay on the or lag. Anyway, I'm just going to get right back into it. So, as I mentioned, I do feel like there is a level of justice coming in here for you. So, there is some kind of that is working in your favor. There is certainly something that is going to be of an advantage. But anyway, we'll just kind of get right into it. Sorry about that again. Really apologize. Um, it's that hot out here. Okay, so now we're on to Knight of Wands. And again, we'll go through this in a little more detail, but the Knight of Wands is an actionable card. And again, you could be dealing with somebody here is coming in fast, even in terms of a legal situation. Sorry, just going to open up another window. But anyway, even in terms of a legal situation, I feel like somebody is coming in here that you're dealing with that is, fairly charismatic, maybe kind of in and out, could be in a romantic sense here as well. But this person, I would say, is fairly attractive. Like they do kind of have that traveler sort of energy about them. There's also something there about you getting on with something in the process. Again, for those that are dealing with a legal issue of some sort, so there is something there about things moving along in terms of study and those kinds of things. You may very well be that person as well that's coming in as the Knight of Wands here, somebody who gets a lot of attention. But either way, I just feel like things are still moving ahead. So again, we're going to tie it all together here in a little bit, but that's just where we're starting. We also have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is that card of, somebody is in charge of money. This is somebody who knows what to do with money. This is somebody who has good investments. This is someone who really knows how to, like I said, get things done, really advance monetary, involvement with things. So Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus is the energy here, but it doesn't have to be the characteristics coming through. But somebody of high status, basically, very mature businessman sort of energy. So you could be dealing with someone along that line. But you're in touch with them either way. It could be you, but I'm feeling like there's a bit of a conflict or a distant issue with this person. So there is something here that kind of speaks to distancing. They could be even traveling. There is something here with the World card that also kind of speaks to international travel for some of you, but there's just something along that line where there's a little bit of distance around that. Now, the final cards out, and again, we'll tie it all together, is the Queen of Cups. So, Queen of Cups, again, this could be you or your energy, but it is more of I don't want to say passive energy, but a receptive energy. So, it's taking things in, not putting things out so much. So, more of a sentimental quality, somebody who really shows up in a traditional way, and is very involved in personal growth. And certainly, this kind of speaks to nurturing qualities, could also be a little bit on the psychic sort of side of things, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, also relevant. Now, what I want to say here is that this is you being very comfortable with yourself in this time frame. I feel like you're happy, but there is a sense of urgency or quick communication or something that's coming through in regards to information, something that may actually help you to plan. And I feel like it's something that's related to the past, something that's related to childhood or nostalgia. Certainly does feel like a reciprocated energy, something that's being given in a fair way. And then there is a big change, and it's a fortunate change, and it allows you to kind of take off with your new project in some way that's a 2.0, something you've done before, you're doing it better. And then we've got the Three of Cups. Now, this is the one that is the card of the energy at the bottom of the deck. Three of Cups is a celebration. So you feel like there is some kind of support, some kind of healing. There's some kind of maybe even going public with something for some of you. But I do feel like this is an accomplishment and you're being recognized in some way, or there's a social gathering, something like that, that does seem to be, creating more of a happier time for you. It's some kind of event or reconciliation, probably with somebody from the past year as well, in the month of July. But either way, strongly feel like group interaction. And I do feel like this is something along that lines of, just feeling like there is more lighter side to things now. So again, we're going to go back into this and tie everything together now and go more specific in terms of finances and love aspects. Okay, so we were starting off with the Three of Wands. Hi, Sashka. Sorry, I was just trying to read it. Your husband. Oh, I don't know if I can read all that. So it's not coming through super clear for me. Husband, um, not go. Uh, I'm not really sure what you're saying there, but I'm going to guess. Am I right to say you're wondering if husband is going to come back? Is that what it is? I'm thinking that's what you're asking, but we'll answer that just toward the end here and sort of give you a little more detail. But at least that's what, yeah, that's what we'll kind of go with. Because again, I can't, it looks like it's slightly different language, and I'm incredibly hindered that way. Okay, so now we're going back into more the general energy and then some of the specific energy, and tie everything together. Oh, why your husband is not stop go to temple after you came to your mother's house. Why your husband stop going to temple after he your mother's house. Okay, I'll ask that actually. But we'll do that right at the end there. Okay, so we are now into sort of the tying energy in. So, right, like I said, I feel Three of Wands. Again, as I mentioned, it's an expansion card. It is plants waiting for returns. It definitely speaks to investments paying off. Something is underway in the period of July, and I feel like it will unfold. You'll get some kind of communication in regards to that. Now, the fact that it is followed up by the Hierophant does also indicate to me that this is influencing, your money is influenced by some kind of a structure or system or tradition or something in terms of a legal or a banking or an educational system. Somehow it's correlated around that. And for sure, it does indicate that it will benefit you in the long run. The King of Cups, like I say, I feel like you're managing your money with emotional maturity, and there's a certain level of calm that's coming through with you. Could also be dealing with, as I say, a water sign and somebody who's quite mature. Excuse me, I'm just going to turn my vehicle off. But we also have something here about financial support, or there might be help in some way that's coming through here, and it feels like it's balanced some kind of underlying stress. Now, the fact that we have the King of Swords here as well, again, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy, but this also kind of speaks to Ten of Wands. This has been a really burden. It's a burden, whatever you've been dealing with in terms of school, institution, waiting on something, government, or because again, the Hierophant speaks to you all a little bit differently, but it's been a bit of a burden, and it feels like the pressure, the responsibilities have been building up. You've been really working hard to manage these, commitments and the multiple tasks that you've been dealing with, and it does feel like for sure there's some level of overload. But I feel like, again, you're going to get some kind of clear communication that comes in here. So, just to kind of reiterate, we would be saying in the period of early July, There's planning, there's waiting, there's reviewing your financial strategies. There is a little bit of a delay. By mid-July, important dealings maybe with a bank or a legal advisor or a traditional system or even a school system is going to be coming up. And by that third week, there's going to be more emotional stability or possibly support from others that are coming through with the King of Cups. Lie, some kind of strong decision or clear contractual situation, and that will help you to allow things to move forward. Now, I would say, like, overall, your money story of things is that it looks pretty good. I would feel like money flows in from structured resources, stable ways, but again, how I feel like it's going to help release some of the pressure. And hi, Manjeet. And I feel like it'll emotionally balance you out a little bit more so. And again, I feel like slow but steady progress, and there's maybe more to come with that Three of Wands waiting, Three of Wands card in the waiting position. Again, when you're feeling overwhelmed or burdened, just remember, you're meant to build strength out of those moments. And, it's not a defeatist mentality. You rest your plan, and then you kind of come back again with a new level of wisdom because you've done things with a certain level of awareness. So now when we talk about what's happening, actually, let's go to relationship. So when we talk about what's happening with your relationship, and again, this is going to be, thanks very much. Mixed to Pi. Great to have you as a new subscriber. And hi, Manjeet. To current feelings, Rohit, genre, form breakup situation. Okay, so I'll kind of get those here at the end here, guys, so it doesn't break up this reading too much on the general aspect of things. But terms of relationship, and again, whoever this resonates, it speaks to, more emotional openness or empathy or a deep intuitive, sensitivity in relationships. Certainly is going to be, feeling like you're ready to sort of reconnect with somebody, give and take is there, all of that. I would say you're going to be hearing from this one pretty soon with the Eight of Wands. I mean, that does accelerate the communication, and it could be text or email or whatever. And travel might be correlated with this card here as well in terms of this relationship, but things will move quickly and possibly a little unexpectedly. And that's been after a period of waiting. So the Ace of Swords tells me there's going to be some kind of truth communicated, about a new beginning in love or emotions. And I feel like it's going to cut away with what you were, feeling uncertain about. Things that weren't clear are now becoming more clear. And again, you're dealing with somebody I feel that's a lot more, well, from the past. So this is somebody that you've known for some time, maybe even childhood actually, or for a certainly significant period of time, because this is about, ensuring the giving, the receiving is mutual. It's not one-sided, and it's more of a reciprocated exchange of energy between you both. So it's like there's more of an understanding, more support, more emotional generosity there for one another, that kind of thing. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is a karmic shift or a fated event, and it does speak to a big change in the relationships. It's like a sudden turn that might occur here, and where there's also new people that might be entering the situation, which might change the direction of, how things turn out in another area of your life or around your relationship. Fool 2.0, this one is telling me that you've got that leap of faith. It's something you've done before. It does feel like there's more innocence, more freedom. You don't feel bogged down in the love department as well. It just feels like there's an underlying energy of more joy. Doing this again, but on a happier note. So something here about joy returns, more celebratory energy. Again, this could be going out to a gathering, social gathering, celebration, reunion, something like that as well, with people that you're familiar with, friendship and otherwise. But that was overriding energy of the whole of that. And now I want to say with, again, strong correlation to a lot of water energy here, because the Queen of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and I won't read so much for the smaller signs. I'm going to sort of stay with the bigger energies as the main, kind of characters that are out here. Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter energy, that's Sagittarius and Pisces also. But in your big cards out were the Chariot and the Justice card. So a lot of significant action taking place here for you in this month, certainly around your ambition, that kind of thing. But in summary, there's a lot more emotional connection. Yep, collective on this one for Libra. um, is in response to Arizo there. But yeah, I do feel like it just feels there's a new beginning, and there's going to be more of a celebratory kind of feel to the connection, and maybe even a gathering, social gathering as well. But I feel like you're just a give and take. It's like you recognize each other again or appreciate one another again. So, just to remember, in terms of relationships, see love as a space to grow. It's not a place to prove yourself. When you want to be open to what is coming in, so that it actually has an impact, for something to build. But when you have anxiety or doubts around something, again, is it just an old story telling yourself, and just to remember, I'm trying to think of just to remember things along the lines that, love is not something that you lock away and cage the other person. It's something along where you need to, it's not a puzzle that you're trying to solve either. It's more like a dance where you have freedom, there's flow, there's, things that kind of every step sort of reveals something else that's more of a deeper note that maybe touches you on an emotional level. We're here to sort of feel, you can't really control all the elements of your life, but you can, allow things to flow through you and not be stymied by them. Don't try to put things into a cage or an idea of how everything has to be or look. So again, I do feel in terms of relationships, there's a lot more growth, rapid change. There's a lot more clarity, some kind of communication that's coming in. And I do feel like you are more open-hearted as well. Now, in terms of what's involved as far as your career, and again, there was a lot of cards that did sort of speak more to contracts and dealing with somebody, money matters with someone in particular, maybe a couple of people here as well, but strong financial focus in this read. So what I'm going to say is that I feel there's practical achievements. You are really focusing on stability this and grounded kind of energy, meaning, you're not just you're not keeping things like whatever you do has a tangible, practical approach. There's an action for every thought. So things along that line. Now, the fact that the King of Pentacles right next to it was the Three of Swords does indicate that there has been something that disappointed you with somebody that, is coming through as having money. But there has been some kind of a betrayal. It's affected your mindset or will in this month of July. It's a personal situation, where there has been a setback maybe in a career aspect. It seems to be impacting your work focus or a personal situation, but how you're resolving it, and again, it's just a process of working through that energy. Eight of Cups is, you're walking away from something that was emotionally unfulfilling, and you're changing your mindset, so because it doesn't align with your growth. So when we get to the World card, that's a level of completion. You've integrated a lesson. You've decided that there is something here that as a takeaway, that you've learned from the situation, and it's not closing you off. And hi, Milla. Hello, and Zapfire. But what I see here is it's like you've learned a lesson, you've integrated something, and now you have a broader view of things. Like you're not isolating it, you're not how do I say, compacting it into a box. Like I said, you're able to move forward because you have more understanding. There's new levels to sort of there's a readiness for those new levels. Now, there's something here as well, again, when we get to the card of Justice, that kind of speaks to, and again, more matters of fairness, legality, contracts, legal decisions, whatever, things along that line. Seems to be that whatever is coming in is a fair decision. It's something that's an honest, balance to your career or to your finances. So something is going to go in a more positive way, as I mentioned. You also carry a lot of passion, a lot of confidence, and there's a lot more bold, adventurous action here, and a quick decision that might be around travel or something like that. But there's also a warning with that card, just to guard against kind of impulsivity. Now, the fact that we have the Chariot out here, and again, we're just tying it into the final cards. The Chariot is that you have the determination to kind of bring about the result that you want, and it does indicate a lot of forward movement based on discipline. So I feel like you're mastering opposing forces, like any kind of distractions that have been coming in around your goals. The Seven of Wands, like I said, this is, you in a better position because you're aware of your belief systems. You're aware of what you want. You know how to push through, the competition, the challenges, this kind of thing. It's like there's more of, more boundaries and those kinds of things coming in here around your time. Now, the thing about early July is I feel like that's where you have more of a grounded focus, real focus on the finances and career. You're facing some kind of emotional or mental wounds, though, as I said, in that period. But overall, I feel like you're not staying attached to it. You're completing a major chapter by mid-July. Now, the of it is late July. As I said, that's where we start to see the Justice card, where there is more fairness coming in. Sorry, what did I do with that? Oh, there it was. Where there's more fairness in a situation, and that's where, there's something of a resolve. A decision has, you've made a decision, or something is resolving around something that around your goals, or around a goal or something that you wanted, but you've also taken the action and acted boldly to get there at July. So end of July is when you actually get the victory, when you actually get the justice around a situation, or you get the communication. Again, there was pressure in the situation, but it's moving in your favor. So I really feel like you're progressing steadily, and whatever little setbacks you did have there is just temporary, and everything is really going forward with purpose. And again, like there's an old adage that says, don't wish it was easier, don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. It's things like that, use this month to build your skills and to keep building your skills and your emotional strength, because this is where you're shaping your future resilience, and that's going to put you to the next level. The road to mastery is paved with endings, and of course, some departures away and awakenings. There's things here that you can't force. It's more about alignment of your heart and your mind. And again, if you going out into nature to feel a little bit more grounded and to sort of take a breath, then that's what you need to do, just to allow yourself to get past the emotional pains or the difficulties that you're having to struggle with. Even though it was just sort of feels like it's dealing with one person over, the rest of the read, it doesn't really impact you in a significant way other than it on a personal, emotional level. There has been a little bit of heartbreak around one person in particular that I feel is quite well-to-do, or has money, or is fairly stable. I feel like overall, you're acting with integrity. There's a lot of fairness and justice and being contractual matters coming through, balancing things out for you. And I feel like, with every ending, there's that new beginning. So I feel like you are really on with what's going on. Now, I want to just pull one last card, and this will be from, let's do the angel guide. And yes, and then I'll get to a couple of the questions here, guys. Okay, so this is, let's see here, what's coming in for Virgo in the month of July? What is the best advice for Virgo in the month of July? Advice for Virgo in the month of July. Holy love, interesting. Guardian angel. Earth and ground, how interesting. Okay, so let's just go through that. So again, this is the Angel Guide Oracle. We have Holy Love, Guardian Angel, Earth and Ground. All right, so and I'm just referring to the book on this a little bit, just because I don't often use these cards. But what I see here is, Holy Love is really about, you feeling much more unconditional love, and I feel like this is a reminder that you're never alone, and that you're surrounded by, even when you feel like human relationships are lacking, it still feels like there is, you've got divine love around you. There is, your ancestors coming through here. And there's also more of an indicator that with the love that's coming in, be open to it. And I don't know why I say that, but it seems to be coming through. We're not as open to love as you could be in this month. And that's the message, to be open more so to love. Don't put guilt or shame or it. And there's also practicing self-compassion, things along that line, to heal your heart, because it feels like the heart space has been impacted in some way here. Now, Guardian Angel, again, still speaking to ancestors coming through here. And hi, Mila. Yep, you can ask a question for sure. I'm just finishing up on this and then we'll get to the questions. So yeah, guardian angel, this one also speaks to protection. Ask for help from your spirits, look for signs, dreams, synchronicities, and just things of that sort, because it's something you can tap into here. And again, earth and ground is anchoring yourself into the earth's energy. And the earth is a living thing, creature. It is a living, entity. So everything that energy is there for us to utilize. So go out into nature, ground yourself, and just release, any extra mental energy that you've got or anxiety. You want to restore stability and calmness. I feel like that is where what's headed in for you in this month. But I definitely feel like love and money seem to be highlighted here. But just a reminder that you are very much protected and that you do have your ancestors around you. So this is safe in this space in this month, especially because you do have ancestors very closely coming through. All right, anyway, moving on. Now, see if I can answer some of the questions that came up here. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going back to some of the questions so I can see. Okay, so I think I have the first one. 1 second. Sorry, just scrolling back a little bit here. Okay, Sakshi Gupta. Why did your husband stop going to temple after coming to the mother's house? Why did husband stop going to temple after going to the mother's house? What is in his mind? What was he thinking? Why did he stop going to temple? Okay, it feels like there is something else on his mind. Definitely the home cards are out. So why did husband stop going to temple after coming to mother's house? 6 of Wands, 4 of Wands, 5 of Swords, 7 of Wands, Chariot, bottom of the deck, World. Okay. So, okay, in short, I mean, definitely we are looking at something that does seem to be, there's a conflict there for sure with the 5 of Swords. I don't know if there was any kind of verbal altercation or something like that, but there is an element of, even though there was welcoming into the community and that kind of thing with the 6 of Wands and with the 4 of Wands, I feel like there is a shift in his sense of belonging, and there's almost like something prideful that's coming through here. He feels more settled and comfortable, and he certainly feels more at home, and he's replacing that need, how do I say that? Because there is conflict here. Like I said, there's conflict, mental tension, and he's, and again, if there's been a disagreement or an argument or some kind of tension around it, it's almost like he might be feeling spiritually conflicted or judged in some way. I would say that it's not so much that, it's worth it to keep pushing it, because people have to come to those things on their own. But I do feel that with this card, there is a level of defensiveness. He's protecting his position. He feels challenged. He feels like he needs to defend his beliefs or his choices or his lifestyle, and maybe he feels judged by temple, and that is why, even though it's welcoming and, generous and that kind of thing, there's a certain sense that he feels his lifestyle is being judged. So I don't know, take it as it resonates, but there is something here with the Chariot that also indicates that, his direction, it's like he's determined about choosing his path. He's focusing on what he feels is within his control, and he's following an external expectation around, or tradition. You know what I mean? He's because the world card is a cycle, that's completed for him, and it's regarding the temple attendance. So I feel like he feels like he's learned what he's needed, and he's outgrown it in some way, and he's reaching some kind of level of closure or integration, and he feels more settled where he is, and he feels validated at home. I feel like he's protecting his independence and his belief. Seven of Wands, but he's determined to follow his own direction now with the Chariot. Like I said, I mean, that chapter's kind of ended for him. When he feels like he needs it, I feel like he'll go back. But right now, it's not that he's avoided this situation out of dislike. It's more that he's chosen to pull back because he feels like he's got another path to walk here. And he feels like he's learned what he needs to learn at this time in terms of faith. That's what I'd say there. Okay, next question. Sorry guys, 1 second. Sorry, just reading through, God. Okay, what are, Manjeet's feelings for, what is Rohit's feelings for Manjeet? Rohit's feelings for Manjeet. How does he feel about her? How does he feel about her? Feelings are withdrawn, pulled back. One, Four of Pentacles. Why the withdrawn, the feeling? Making decisions, epiphany, awareness, something that's coming through that's a big... Feels like something is lacking, but... He feels like something is lacking. What are his feelings towards you? Four of Pentacles, Judgment, Five of Pentacles, Temperance, King of Wands. I would say, like overall, somebody's coming out here as a very charismatic kind of person. Somebody else, you know what? I mean, the King of Wands, it feels like this is somebody's really attractive personality. They're, really outgoing and, has a lot of charisma, things of that sort. Sorry guys, but things of that sort. And so I feel like he feels closed off or guarded in some way. He's holding back emotionally for sure with the Four of Pentacles. The Judgment tells me that there's something here about a fear of vulnerability as well. He's trying to control his feelings, protect his stability some way. He's not really expressing his true emotions right now. It's like he's undergoing some kind of deep reflection or inner evaluation about your connection. And I feel like he's thinking about the meaning of your relationship and some kind of past actions maybe, or also about the future possibilities. But there's a sense of a to something, or needing to make a final decision. So he's kind of working through that. Again, that Five of Pentacles energy is feeling a little bit more isolated or pulled back from everybody. There's almost like some kind of emotional coldness that's coming through here, where he feels rejected or disconnected from you, or there's some guilt around those feelings, something like that, regrets, whatever. But the Temperance is that he desires harmony and peace and healing, that healing quality that happens between the two of you. So despite the guardedness and the emotional coldness, he wants to find something that restores the balance between you, something that would kind of reconnect things. There is definitely something here where there's potential and patience is required and some kind of level of understanding, and things will just sort of, kind of play out and things will integrate together. You'll start to understand each other because deep down he does have passion for you. There is attraction, there's strong will or pull towards you. He sees you as someone he wants to take action towards, but he's holding back for whatever reasons right now. As I mentioned, is just not expressing it fully. So again, guarded, holding back. He's reflecting deeply, possibly feeling regret or guilt around some. He does want healing and peace and balance between you, but strong, pull to as well. And what's the next one? Question. Sorry, Madhu, I don't know what your question was. Guidance, maybe? I'll just pull a couple of cards because I don't know if that's what you're asking me. What is the guidance for Madhu? What is guidance for Madhu? What is guidance for Madhu? Guidance for Madhu. Guidance for Madhu. All right, well, that's very good energy. I see that you are in some kind of a challenge for sure. So, guidance for Madhu, Strength card, 5 of Wands, 9 of Cups, bottom of deck, Page of Pentacles, and I'm going to even pull the 5 of Swords on that one as well. So, like I said, what I'm seeing there is it feels like you're in a situation for sure, Madhu. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. It does feel like you're in a situation where you're being called to kind of access your inner strength to kind of pull through a situation. There's a level of patience and courage that's required with that card. And it definitely feels like you're handling your challenges, you know, with compassion rather than pushing or anything like that. You're not approaching the situation, you know, haphazardly. You're actually doing it with confidence and emotional maturity, which is good. The fact that we have the 5 of Wands here could be jealousy or competition around you or disagreements, could be scattered energy, something of that sort, but it feels like you're pulled in a lot of different directions and there's some minor conflicts taking place, and it does feel like you have to kind of stand firm without any kind of aggression, that kind of thing. Now, we've got the 9 of Cups. That does speak to moving toward emotional satisfaction, ultimate happiness. It's a wish fulfillment card, so you are going to get there and you will arrive in the centered zone, but you just have to understand right now you're in a space of just having to push through it. Page of Pentacles at the bottom again indicates that this is a new opportunity. Could be studies coming in here for you, work, or some kind of new beginning, but I feel like you're approaching life from a place of, you know, that student or mentality. This could be also a loan or something that is coming through here. It could be something of it's definitely emotional happiness that's coming through, and it's definitely a grounded energy. So it's something solid that you're putting, it can be put into a tangible form. It's not just in the, you know, wishful thinking sort of area. It's in something in a tangible form that shows up here that makes you happy. So again, if you're looking for a job or something here, you know, learning a new skill or something like that, maybe apprenticing, starting something here, but there's learning involved with the Page of Pentacles. But it feels like you want to be strong, avoid unnecessary conflicts, you know, use your energy wisely. And I do feel at this time, you know, just stay in that atmosphere or that mode of building skills, because that's what I see here for the cards. You know, your true strength is not to conquer others, but to master your own inner storms, as they say. And it's, you know, quiet courage, basically. So a lot of attention, it's quiet courage. Just looking at some of the other questions here again. Oh, thanks, Mila, on the beautiful cards. Maybe we'll take that one out and put something more happy on there. Let's go with the 6 of Cups. There we go. Okay, so I'm just looking at the questions here. You're asking, what does the future hold for me and Michelle? He is holding back due to past sorrow. On and off contact. Okay, so what is Michelle's feelings for Mila, as well as what does their future look like together? What are the feelings for Mila, between Mila and Michelle, and the future? Feelings and the future. Huh. Okay. I would say that you're still really have to wait in this situation for a while because there's a lot to be worked through. I don't know if this person travels, but there's something here, maybe even by travel as far as car goes, that kind of thing. But I feel like it will level up in some way. But there is going to be some balance, but not just yet. So what's happening in terms of feelings and the Fear, Knight of Swords, Chariot, Moon, Justice, Three of Pentacles, bottom of deck, Nine of Wands. All right, so what I'm going to say there is you're going to have to push through with the Nine of Wands. This is, you're almost at a completion, and even below that, there's the Two of Swords. So there's a decision that is coming in, but not just there yet. What I would say with the Knight of Swords is that this person feels like a strong energy or urge to move towards you or communicate with you. They want to move towards you, rapidly in some direct, possibly impulsive sort of way, but the intentions is one of, like, I don't see a lot of cups energy here. It's like practical energy. It's like they want to conquer you. They want, like, they're determined to succeed in this connection. It feels like there's willpower, there's focus. There's a desire to progress things with you, but it feels they might have some obstacles in their way right now because this is emotional confusion, fears, things like that. And again, illusions somehow influencing their feelings. So it's like they're working through some emotional thing. They don't understand something fully. And so because of that, they're triggered by some doubts or fears that they have to work through. And that may be around their idea of what, relationships are, or around what the future is. They don't have a clear path on that. And so because of that, it's making things, have them hold back. The Justice card, again, is the future card. It does hold decisions and it does hold balance. So there's something here about there may be more of a need to be having a conversation and honesty with each other about the intentions here before formalizing any kind of agreement, for the connect forward. I feel like there is some kind of fairness that will play out in this situation, leading to whatever it's going to be based on, the past and the present actions, obviously. But still, with the Three of Pentacles, it does indicate that there's building blocks still happening here. This is taking things to the next level. It's more building a solid foundation, and maybe that's why they're holding off. Maybe they need to find more of a grounding financial situation or whatever, or feel like they're more in control of their world before they can build a foundation with you, because this is cooperation, this is working together, this is learning about each other's needs and and each other's strengths and all of that. So it feels like they're guarded in some way with the Nine of Wands, but they're still persevering. It's just a very cautious energy, and I would say that they're still wanting to come towards you again, very quickly. They want to communicate, but I'm just not seeing, the feelings are fast moving, but it's almost like there's too much emotional confusion for them to really commit here, is what I would say. So again, have that honest conversation. The underlying energy is that this person feels wounded in some way, or they're very cautious. So patience and understanding is going to be pretty important here, and communicating clearly. But you want to honor their wounds and whatever they're holding their boundaries on. You don't want to push them to step up or build. You want to try to build trust with this person. There's something that they're trying to make a decision about. And okay, Maritza. Will you get the school job you're applying for? Maritza, you get the school job that you're applying for? Will you get the school job that you're applying for? Will Maritza get the school job they're applying for? Okay, that looks like a yes to me. Will you get the school job you applied for? Star, Moon, Ace of Cups, bottom of deck, Ace of Pentacles. Just looking at the Ace of Pentacles alone tells me yes, it's a solid card of yes, something is coming through. Below that is the card waiting, so maybe this is just, and it's at the Ten of Wands below that, meaning it's very close to the big answer here pretty soon. There's a lot of hope and optimism for sure on your behalf with the Star card, and you're feeling much more positive about the situation. I do feel like your application was viewed favorably with this card. It does seem like you shine brighter than the others that have applied for that situation. I do feel like you're getting some kind of a blessing that's coming in here, like I said, but the moon card is, of course, the uncertainty or the hidden factors or the confusion around it. So again, this is you clouding your intuition, so that's why you can't really quite see what's happening there, and just to kind of remove those internal fears and doubts from the situation, because what I see here with the Ace of Cups is, yes, you're going to have that new emotional beginning. Good news on the way, and this does create a blessing and a joy for you. The Ace of Pentacles, again, is a strong confirmation as well, doubly, that this material offer and a new job opportunity for sure. So it does include, you know, financial growth, stability, all of that with this card, and it is a practical beginning. So I feel you're getting the job. And what else do we have here? Oh, and thanks, Mila. Yeah, no, I'm glad it resonates. Oh, that's really good, Maritza. Hi, Smith. I'm just reading the rest there. And Georgia, no restoration, he's a nightmare. Okay, what's happening with Georgia? Geez, Georgia, do we live the same life? I think there's a few nightmares out there. Okay, anyway, Georgia, what is the situation with the love life? What is the situation with the love life? Anything good that's coming about? What's coming in for Georgia? Oh yeah, there's your card of tension, competition. Oh yeah, you're right. He's looking like a nightmare. I feel like this person is okay. All right, so let's go with what I see here. Georgia's nightmare person. The cards are Five of Wands, of Pentacles, King of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, Empress. Okay. What I'm going to say here is, for sure, I feel like there's a lot of jealousy going on with this connection, or, you know, or whatever, if he's not there anymore. I guess that's just what would be sort of the energy around them. I feel like there's a lot of conflict, there's a lot of competition, a lot of jealousy, a lot of chaos internally, externally. It feels like the energy all over the place. There's a lot of argument, a lot of, you know, unnecessary battles, just, you know, being defensive, all of that. And of course, when we get to the Five of Pentacles, same sort of energy. Somebody feels abandoned, the other person feeling rejected, you know, deeply insecure, that kind of thing. Poverty mindset as well could be a factor here, but is basically being left out, and that could be physically, emotionally, spiritually, however that resonates. I feel like they're battling their feelings of worthlessness and external chaos at the same time. And with the King of Wands, despite their inner struggle, they project out differently. They make themselves look like they're, you know, they've got everything under control, you know, super confident, you know, they're really charismatic, you know, people are drawn to them. It's kind of almost like too much ego, too much arrogance. You know, they cover up things with their insecurities. And then with the Knight of Pentacles, I mean, this underneath is the slow moving, stubborn, practical energy. You know, they're really focused on their material world. And it feels like they're just really unchanging, and they're resistant to any kind of emotional shift. So I feel like they prefer to keep life on their own terms, is what I would say there. I don't know if that's resonating for you, Georgia, but that's what I'm seeing there. And I feel like, you know, with the Empress as the underlying energy at the bottom of the deck, I feel like, you know, maybe this is you, feminine, nurturing, you know, beautiful kind of person. But it feels like you're a source of comfort, and there's maybe kind of obsession, obsession around you or something like that, but there's a lot of jealousy or something. They're conflicted. Somebody feels insecure, abandoned. Like I said, it feels like their actions are really slow and stubborn, but lots of ego in the way here. So I don't know, I don't really see anything Maybe I'll pull one more card on. I don't know if we should do the future on that one. But because the underlying card from that was Four of Cups, so there's been definitely a lot of depression or low feelings around that. Anything that's good that's coming in for Georgia. And hi, Anita. What's coming in for Georgia? Hi there, Smith. What is coming in for Georgia good? What's coming in for Georgia that's good? Big decision. Oh, and yeah, something in around love. Huh. There's a big transition here. So what's coming in for Georgia around the good things? Judgment, Lovers, Justice, Death card, bottom of deck. So overall, I'm going to say this looks like, I feel like another connection is coming through here. It's like you've got this, powerful realization or awakening about your life purpose that frees you from some kind of old pattern. This is the good stuff that's coming in for you. And it feels like there's a level of forgiveness, and even releasing it. And you're liberating yourself here in some way. I feel like there's deeper relationships that are coming in for you. Doesn't have to be romantic, can be otherwise, but I definitely feel it's something along the line of aligning your heart with your true desires, the things that really, are along the same line as you are. So you could be strengthening a new romantic connection or strengthening an existing bond, but either way, important decisions are made around love and relationships and connections at this time. So I feel like there's going to be a lot more value and highlight, around your harmony. That's what you're looking for, is a sense of balancing things out, especially with the Justice card. So again, Libra energy could be also here. Gemini, Aquarius could also be present. But I feel like this is almost like a karmic balance. Even in terms of a legal matter, it's more along the lines of things working out in your favor. And it feels like if you've been wronged, the outcome again is going to be righted. So there's something here about a truth revealed that supports your growth, things ahead. You're going through some kind of big transformation. It's a major ending. It's definitely something that's pretty intense. I feel like it's a positive clearing of the things that are for you, and that's what's allowing this new beginning to come through. But either way, I feel like really big energy here. It's your soul awakening to some realization or truth. And I feel like you've got a new beginning, and you're looking for authentic relationships only. You're really, what you want now. And let's see. Oh, you're welcome, Maritza. Just going back. I'll answer a couple more before my phone is dead. I have to power it up again. Anita, what's going on for Anita as a Pisces? Sorry if I've missed anybody. You might have to repeat a question if I did. Oh, wait, sorry, Bob. Bob, Sagittarius. What's happening for Bob as a Sagittarius? What's happening for Bob as a Sagittarius? The good things coming in. What are the good things or the immediate energy? Could be bad things. I don't know if you want to know that, but what's coming in? Oh, I feel like a direction for you. Something you've done before is coming in. What is the 2.0? Yeah, something that I feel like is, okay. What's coming in for Bob? Emperor, Fool 2.0, Moon card, bottom of deck. So what I see here is definitely speaks to you, stepping into some kind of period of stability. And I feel like this is going to be something that is grounding, structure, leadership oriented, however that resonates for you. But either way, I feel like you're taking on more responsibility. Could be in a fatherly as well. But you're making more decisions about your life, your career, solid foundations being built. That's what the next immediate thing is. And this could be around family matters, but it's definitely discipline that's coming in very strongly. New beginning, fresh start. And again, it's something that you've done before. You're just doing it better. That's what I would say. And again, this requires you to kind of jump right in. Don't take the old baggage. Because the Moon card does suggest there is some baggage that you're kind of carrying with this situation, but there's strong stability and leadership, really decisive action, able to make some really good decisions, especially on financial matters or loans might be prominent, but the potential for that is quite positive. It's in your favor. I feel like it's like an energy of, you're creating a path right now that is going to allow freedom, but there's wisdom that goes with it, especially with the moon card. So it's almost like you're making decisions this week, that really seem to help you to take on more responsibility. So I don't know if that's enough, but that's what's come through. Okay, and Anita, what's coming in for Anita on Pisces? What's coming in for Anita as a Pisces? What's coming in for Anita? Incoming in the next short while. What is the big energy out for Anita? What's coming in for Anita? Oh, Anita. I don't know if you're dealing with an institution, a government situation, or something around a marriage. But let's see. What's coming in for Anita? Queen of Cups, Four of Swords, Seven of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, bottom of deck, Hierophant. So like I said, this could be around a marriage, or this could be around a long-term commitment or connection. That's the main energy out. So again, this could be a work situation here too, but for some restrictions around it. What I would say here is that, I feel like you're the Queen of Cups coming in as emotional, nurturing, self-care, intuitive, all of that. But it feels like you're deeply connected to, your emotions at this time. And I feel like that's where you'll have to get your wisdom from right now, is that emotional space. Four of Swords tells me there's like a need for rest or retreat. You want to take a break to heal something, maybe mentally or physically. You want to step back from something that's been stressful for you. But when I see the Seven of Swords here, that could be somebody that's been holding back, deceptive, something like that, or there's some kind of strategic thinking that's required. But either way, I feel like there's a caution to read in some way. I would say that this could also represent you withdrawing privately to sort of handle a matter, but without announcing it to other people. But I feel like in doing so, you will come out more grounded financially. And I feel like there's, practical matters, material world, finances, that kind of thing seem to be at the forefront. But I feel like whatever decisions you make, very calm sort of approach around it. You're definitely dealing with traditional energy. So again, whether this is a job or this is somebody that is, coming in as a religious factor or whatever, but there's something here about spiritual teaching, and it can be, again, wise elder or professional, but again, there's a commitment to something around a moral path, and again, family or expectations, something along the line, but Hierophant is supporting you in some way. A traditional sort of aspect here is very, very around you to aid you. Anyway, hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight. Okay, now I think everybody, it's really hard to sort of see. Studio, yo. And yeah, that's what I've got here for you guys. So anyway, hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight. And yeah, check back again. Keep moving forward, guys. Never give up. You're here to support one another. And until the next